Spoiler warning, guys. The things that happen in this movie are just so unbelievable. And that's because most of it didn't happen. Guys, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Shelf. I'm your host, Ronan Time HD, and this week, what we found off the shelf was...
I'm looking for your son.
I would never give up my son. If you were a father, you'd know.
Stop chasing me.
I can't stop. It's my job.
Where you going, Frank?
Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Don't bring around a cloud of terrain on my parade.
Sir, we're gonna let him get away.
No, Carl, you let him get away.
Nobody had a better rain on my Merry Christmas parade.
I'm getting close, You will go to prison.
You're gonna have to catch me.
Catch Me If You Can, released in 2002, directed by the iconic, the legendary Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, but also featuring Christopher Walken and Amy Adams. This film is a, comedy cat and mouse movie, but also a bit of a... No, I'd mostly call it a comedy chase movie, I guess is a good way to describe it. But it's also a bit of a drama, too. There's a lot of drama in there as well. So, when this movie says this film is inspired by a true story, it's in the same vein of how, Texas Chainsaw is inspired by a true story. Kind of, but not really, right? You know what I mean? In the fact that, yes, this movie was based on the life of the name of the biography, right? The guy who was the real person that Leo plays in the movie, Frank, he wrote an autobiography in the 80s where he basically fabricated his entire life, right? He was I pretended to be a fucking co-pilot. I pretended to be a doctor. I pretended to be a lawyer. And I was all around the world. I was on the top 10 FBI most wanted fugitives list. And now I work for the FBI, which he doesn't. And he never did. But either way, yeah, he was a big surprise. The guy in the movie who was a professional liar lied about his life. Big fucking shocker there, right? I think that's even more fitting than the story being true, I'm gonna be honest. Really ironic. Either way, though, that doesn't really affect my enjoyment of the film. I can just see this as a movie, as an adaptation of a story, right? And I think it was a damn good story, right? I think it was really captivating. I think it was really engaging. And I just thought it was a really good time, right? I think Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks had a great back and forth. They had a really good, as I said, the cat and mouse game was so good. And the fact that, it felt like a comic book or something with how, the absurdity of how have they not caught this guy yet, right? It seems like they'd catch him, right? It seems like he's at his tipping point. It seems like they're going to get him, but then he slips away, right? He always finds a way to get out of it, and the chase continues. And the whole movie just really is just so effective, even though at the beginning of the movie it shows you that he got caught. Off rip, it shows him in jail. So, in jail, at the beginning of the movie, it shows Leonardo DiCaprio in jail, at the very beginning, talking to Tom Hanks. And he's, all fucked up, and, he's gonna get caught at some point, right? But the thing is, you don't know when he's gonna get caught, right? You don't know when they're gonna get him, and that's the fun of it, right? Is that it's you don't know which scam is the one that he went a little too far on, right? The one that, gets him caught. I really enjoy that. But I also, I don't know, I really like obviously with movies like this, I think there's obviously, well, not obviously, well, there's tropes, obviously. Every type of movie has tropes. And one trope that I really like about chase movies that I think, like, really adds to the drama and, I guess, to me, adds to, I guess, the investment I have in the characters is how when the person being chased and the person chasing that person, when they have similarities, when they're, like, almost the same person, right? And it's like in this movie, Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, they're just two lonely dudes without anybody else to talk to. Like, they're probably the only people, like a couple of the only people that they actually talk to on a regular basis, right? And, I mean, obviously, they don't like each other. They're, like, at the beginning at least, they're trying to, one's trying to get away from the other one, and the other one's trying to lock the other one up in prison, right? But I think they have, like, a bit of a mutual respect for each other, like, Tom Hanks, I guess, respects him, not in the fact that, like, he respects him as being a criminal, but he, like, respects his intelligence, and he doesn't, like, undermine him. He doesn't really underestimate him. But even when he doesn't underestimate him, he's still able to outsmart him because Leo is just always one step ahead of him in this movie. And I don't know. There was just, obviously Tom Hanks is great because he's Tom Hanks, right? I mean, who doesn't like Tom Hanks? But I think Leonardo DiCaprio, I just think is like, I mean, one of the greatest actors of our generation, clearly. And I just think he's just really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? So I think Leonardo DiCaprio was just so, I guess, he just really had a very captivating performance, I guess is a good way to describe it. And the reason I say that is because his character, while obviously being like a criminal, he was doing bad things, and he was like stealing money, and he was, tricking and conning a lot of people. He wasn't really doing it necessarily out of malice. He was very misguided. He was, in his mind, he was only doing it to get his mom and dad back together, right? He was incredibly misguided. He really wanted to, like, every time he met back up with his dad, like, after he was making all the money from his hustling and swindling, he's like, okay, so I'm gonna get you a Cadillac, I'm gonna get you this suit, I'm gonna get you this, I'm gonna get you that, and then mom will you'll win mom back for sure, right? And his dad's just like, son, she has a new husband now, like, she's moved on, it was a long time ago. And Leo, I mean, he's still a teenager, right? He does not have a fully developed brain at all. So he's not, I mean, yeah, he's street smart, but he's not, like, intelligent in the fact that he can't process his emotions properly. He doesn't know what to do when faced with a situation that he can't control, right? And what he does is he just runs away from it, right? Like at the beginning of the movie with the divorce, he runs away from it, right? And he just doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to pick one of his parents because he loves them, so he just runs away. He doesn't make a tough call because he can't. He's just a kid, right? He doesn't know what he's doing. And later in the movie, when Christopher Walken, his father, is like, well, we're not getting back together. We're done. Like, that time in our lives is over. He doesn't know what to do, and he runs away again, right? Because I think it's, like, when you're watching the movie, it doesn't feel like it, and they do a very good job of, like, tricking you, but the whole time, he's a teenager. He is just a child, right? Even though he looks like he knows what he's doing, he's just being a good liar. He really doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, right? He's just a good improviser, right? He's just good at working on the fly and adapting to situations. That's really what he's good at, right? I do like how the movie establishes his inability to, change, his inability to make a tough decision, to just keep running and keep doing what what he always does, right? Swindling and doing all this. Like, he keeps going back to the old reliable, right? Because he doesn't know what else to do. That's his way of taking it out on the world, of taking out his frustrations out on the world. But I think one thing I really liked is at the end of the film, he finally grows, right? Obviously, it being a couple years later, he's an adult now, he's grown, and he has developed as a person to where he doesn't have to go back to his old ways anymore. He doesn't need to be a con man anymore. He can change for the better, right? And he can make those tough decisions, and he doesn't need to run away anymore. Because at the end of the movie, he was going to run away again, right? Because he just didn't want to do it. You know, he didn't want to do this work. He wanted, like, I guess he just didn't want to make those decisions. Again, he was going to run away like he had the whole movie, but then he finally doesn't run away. He finally takes his responsibilities, and he, you know, works for the FBI as, you know, an agent to take down fraudsters and all that. And I really liked that. I really liked his development as a character over the film, and obviously Tom Hanks, who is more of a static character, but I guess one detail I liked about him, which I guess is just a little thing, but I always like little character stuff like this. He has, at the beginning of the movie, when Tom Hanks is, like, just starting to get on Leo's tail, he has, like, a team with him. He has, like, 2 partners, and they were, like, just 2 guys from different departments that got demoted to the bank fraud department as, like, a punishment. Well, at least one of them was the other guy, but the other guy hadn't had any experience in bank fraud, though, so they were both, like, new guys. And they, like, didn't get along, you know, they were really discoordinated. And as the movie goes on, because obviously it's over the span of a couple years, obviously they improve as a team. They have better chemistry and better cohesion, and they have more of a bond, which I guess, it's very small, right? But I just like that detail, right? I like the detail of the team getting better over the years. They get more chemistry. I like that. Either way, I just said that little, I love character writing. I'm a big fan of, right? And I like little character moments like that. Either way, I've just been rambling about this movie, but I think honestly, it's just a really good time, right? I just think it's a really, really good time, and I think I would recommend it, right? I think I would recommend it. I mean, obviously, if you like Spielberg, you've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, I would, obviously, as I said, recommend it. If you like Leonardo DiCaprio, if you like Tom Hanks, if you like cat and mouse movies, I think overall, just a great film, highly enjoyable. And with that being said, what would I rate this film? You know, I think I would rate this film an 8 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I've said what I need to say. I think I've said my piece. So, guys, I hope you like this video. Share it with friends. Subscribe. Turn those notifications on. Comment down below on how much you liked it. And I've been Runtime HD. Off to write some bad checks. You know, I was watching this movie, right? And it made me think, like, there is this Steven Spielberg movie starring Tom Hanks where airports are a vital factor. Catch me if you can, right? The movie I just reviewed. But then there's another Steven Spielberg movie starring Tom Hanks where an airport is a contributing factor, a major contributing factor to the story, The Terminal. So it's like, it's strange that it happened twice. You know what I mean? It's like, what are the chances that there are 2 Tom Hanks airport movies in Steven Spielberg's filmography? I think that's, we need the third. We need another Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg airport movie. Get on it, Steven Spielberg. I know you're making that weird alien movies coming out soon. I need you to make another Tom Hanks airport movie. You need to get the trilogy in there. Hey guys, you want to hear a joke? I hope you answered yes. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Go fuck yourself. It's funny, okay? He didn't laugh in the movie because he's a professional actor and he's not supposed to. But it's a funny joke, okay?